Oakley Vanguards are almost the smart glasses we've been all waiting for in the sports sector. In this video, I'll dive into all the great things about them, all the bad stuff, but also the small bits that have been overhyped because of the sweet juice of the affiliate links. And don't get me wrong, there are affiliate links below here as well. But I don't really care if you're gonna buy them or not. I just want to make sure that at the end of this video you'll know enough whether these are worth your $500 or not. For full transparency, I've purchased them myself, I pre-ordered them, and I had them for quite some time now. It just took me a little bit longer to solidify my view on these because there are some caveats that I wasn't sure if they're gonna get fixed by software updates or they are just what they are. Throughout this video, we'll talk about the sound quality and the difference between the Vanguards and the Oakley Metas. For that purpose, we'll use Steve, which is a binaural microphone, allowing you to hear the difference between these two, but obviously try to listen to this video on headphones so you can actually tell the difference, because on speakers this might be a little bit distorted. Let's jump straight in. The first thing is the fit. It really depends on the size of your head. There's only one size, and this is kind of a situation when one size fits all, and it doesn't necessarily fit all. I would say I've got a medium head, like all my helmets are medium size, caps, all this kind of stuff. When one of my larger headed mates tried these on...
Awesome. Yeah, this is cool. I like the setup. Oh. They even set up the fire for us. This is so good.
That's brilliant.
Love it.
He felt that those tips were biting into his head a little bit too much. Now, on a smaller heads, they might feel a little bit too loose. That's because there is, I don't know if you can see this, there is no flex here, right, on this joint point. So, different to RayBan Metas that are a little bit more flexible, they've got slightly looser feel. But also because of that, when you're running or cycling, these tend to slide onto my nose. Whereas the Oakleys, they stay put. So the takeaway from this is if you've got a standard size head, these should be okay. But if you've got a bigger melon, I would strongly suggest trying them on in the shop first before you commit to a $500 purchase, unless you can return them for free, then this shouldn't be a problem. And as I've mentioned, they feel very locked in. They don't move around whether you're cycling or running, but they do feel on the heavier side when you compare them, say, to Ray-Bans. Not so much so that you should actually care about this, but it is definitely worth mentioning. I'm assuming that you've watched a number of these videos before this one, so you've got a good idea of how they work and all those tiny little functionalities. So I'm gonna leave that out. Let's just focus on a real-world experience. If you're thinking of using these as an action cam, I've got some mixed feelings about it. There was a lot of hoorah about the 3K sensor on them. And that 3K sensor only really works if you've got moderate stabilization, so when you're running, there's still gonna be up and down motion, unlike any action camera out there. And also the 3K on a tiny little sensor, it's still tiny little sensor. You can call it 20K. It's not gonna make much of a difference, especially in lower light. Now, for comparison's sake, here's the difference between whatever we've got on Oakley Vanguards versus the iPhone 17 Pro. As you can see, the sensor size is massively different between these two, so you can't really expect massive quality from them. And I would say that good lighting conditions, if it's sunny outside, you're absolutely golden. The pictures are good enough, and videos as well, especially if you want to capture a moment when you're on the run. You don't have to go for your camera, for your phone, for action cam. You can just press this little button here, and you can snap a photo there and there, which is fantastic, especially when I'm driving and there's someone doing something extremely stupid on the road and my dashcam might not pick it up. You just hold down the button and you can start recording. Just like with the Ray-Bans, you've got a light blinking whenever you're recording, so everybody knows you are doing that. I know some people were asking how to disable that. Please don't be a creep. I feel weird enough wearing these without recording anything because people assume I'm recording them where I'm actually not. It kind of feels like a gray area in ethics, but let's just leave ethics behind. Now, aside from this LED here, you've got one LED on this side of glasses telling you when you're recording. So if you're unsure, if you're cycling, you don't want to press this too many times so you're not going to lose control and end up in a ditch. So you've got a LED that blinks when you're taking a photo, or when you press down and record a video, it stays solid green. When your battery is running low, that LED changes to red, which is just in your peripheral version. It doesn't distract you from whatever you're doing. I think this is actually pretty cool design. Now, in terms of the image quality, I've mentioned in a good lighting scenario, they're fantastic just like the Ray-Bans are. However, if you go into more shadowy area, obviously you're not gonna wear them at night. If you're doing action sports, and if you don't live in California or Texas, you will encounter some clouds, or you'll be riding in the forests as well. Whenever the light disappears, the footage starts falling apart, like you would expect from a small sensor, which I've seen some reviewers saying, oh, it's not a big deal. Well, it is. So have a look at this comparison. This is Action 6 on one side and the Vanguards on the other, and you can tell the huge difference in how those small details are absolutely falling apart or actually just getting blasted completely. And yes, I don't get many sunny days here, and most of the action cams kind of suck when it comes to low light performance, but there's a limit for these that is set pretty low. I would say that anything slightly shadowed will be fairly distorted. I wouldn't say this is a massive deal breaker, because I decided to keep them regardless. I do a lot of stuff outdoors, and this is a great tool just to capture those moments where you would normally have to go for your phone, or with kids, you're walking your dog, you're running, cycling, whatever it is, you can capture a moment with the press of a button. And yes, there are obvious downsides to it. So if you're doing your activities in fairly shadowy places, I would say that they will not perform as advertised. So for most of the action sports, I think that might be a problem, depending on where you live. So please keep that in mind so you won't be disappointed. I've seen loads of comparisons between the Oakleys and the RayBans, and honestly, I can't really tell a difference. There's maybe small difference in details when you pixel peep, but you're not gonna do that on Instagram. No one really cares that much. And like I said, the sensor is so tiny that you can just throw 20k into this. It won't make much of a difference. One of the issues I've got with Oakleys is that they somehow only decided to work with Garmin. So if you don't have a Garmin watch, in theory, you can't have any live stats. Now, I stopped using Garmin quite a while back because I just got tired of really shit UI, and I'm really sorry for all the Garmin lovers out there. I just didn't like the experience. Even though the battery was great, the functionality was on spot. Don't get me wrong, but I just like my Apple Watch for everyday usage. I don't do ultra marathons, and Apple Ultra survives the whole day of activities with no issues. If you want to drop some hate comments below, please go ahead, but it's just my opinion. So with Garmin, you've got a full integration. It tells you exactly what your heart rate is, your distance, all these kind of sweet data stats. However, if you're using Apple Watch, in theory that shouldn't work, but if you switch on your coaching thing, it will still feed you the same data because it's connected to the watch through Bluetooth. So you'll still get your stats just in a slightly different way. And when it comes to the overlay, obviously, when you connect it to Garmin, you get that overlay straight away. If you're using any other watch, be it Android or Apple, you can still get that overlay by syncing your data with Strava and then adding that Strava overlay if you have to. So yeah, Garmin thing kinda sucks, but there's ways around it. Now, the thing that doesn't suck and actually surprised me the most is the sound quality on them. If you've been on this channel for a while, you know I've reviewed loads of running and cycling headphones. Honestly, these sound almost the best out of every audio device I've tested for outdoor usage. As in, you want to be aware of your surroundings, but you still want to listen to your music or podcast. I wasn't expecting that because the speakers on RayBans were just okay. They were pausable. They kind of worked, so if you forgot your headphones, you can just tap them and listen to the music. But these are exceptional. And here's some sound samples from Steve.
Found myself in the cardboard box. Feeling sitting deep down. Found myself in the cardboard box. Feeling sitting deep down.
Now, this might be a little bit nitpicking, but I love the fact that the lens is in the middle of the glasses, so you've got everything centered. You don't have to move your head to the side to film everything like, you know, POV style like you do with Ray-Bans, but it creates another problem. If you wear glasses, you typically do this to correct them, right? The camera is just straight here, so you have to keep telling yourself to, if you need to push them back here or correct them by the lens. And by the lens, you have to be very careful again, because these are a massive fingerprint magnet. I'm not sure about the other lenses, and I used Prism on Oakleys for ages, and it's not just the Vanguards. Every Prism lens has the same issue. If you touch them anywhere, it just leaves a nasty mark. Now, the issue of this is that you control the music by sliding your finger up and down here, and you'll inevitably end up smudging this bit here, which I know I might be a little picky, but it looks shit after a while. And I keep forgetting to bring my microfiber stuff with me, especially when I'm mid-run on a mountain bike or skiing or whatever. I'm pretty shit at maintaining this kind of stuff. There's enough of my camera equipment that I need to keep clean all the time. I really don't want to do this with glasses all the time. That's why they are always fingerprinted. This is the only time that they've been cleaned so much just for the sake of this video, but typically, yeah. This is a massive fingerprint magnet. If you're concerned with the battery life, I have to admit they're much better than RayBan's. About 10% per hour is my normal usage if I'm just casually listening to music and taking one photo here and there. If you're constantly recording, the battery drain is going to be insane, and you can expect like 25% drop every hour. If you're recording clips all the time, well, not continuously, obviously, because you've got 3 minutes recording in 3K and 5 minutes if you're recording in 1080p. However, something that you have to keep in mind that they might not survive a whole day of activities on the mountain. Now, you have to decide for yourself if this is a real-world issue for you. Me, personally, I'd never kill these glasses, at least the battery. Touch wood, I'm not gonna break them too easily or too quickly, but the battery has been solid enough for my activities. Of course, if you're doing some ultra running, yeah, they will drain eventually. If you're running for 9-8 hours, you're gonna go through the whole battery and you will have to recharge them halfway through or at the end of the day. The issue here is that the only way to charge them is with a case. Case is actually pretty cool. So you've got those little procs here that are responsible for charging the glasses, and I know there's some aftermarket chargers on eBay. I haven't tried them because I've got a funny feeling there might be something wrong with the current again, like with some of the devices that I charged in the past, and they will screw up the battery. It's up to you if you're going to use them or not, so you can charge them without carrying the case with you, but these are the only glasses that I actually use case for. I've got so many random cases for all my sunglasses, they're always somewhere in the drawers. Also, part of living in Scotland, or if you're in Vancouver, I think we're on the same boat here, it is pissing down here a lot. Now, I wear sunglasses or glasses when I'm cycling all the time, because you really don't want to get hit by water in your eyes when you're riding really fast, especially when it's windy, or stones flying from the tires of the rider in front of you. One of my mates managed to put a scratch on these really quickly. I think it was like a third day of using them on the trails. But yeah, they're here to protect your eyes as well. See, this is my ADHD kicking in. I kind of sidetracked here. So, rain. Yes, these are fairly waterproof. Obviously, there's IP certification on them. You can read details below. But I can tell you that, yeah, they survived loads of different soaking sessions when it was raining, when I was sweating. I do sweat like a pig when I'm doing stuff. And they've been fine. There's zero issues with the cameras or with the speakers. Yeah, they work just well.
It's as miserable as it looks, even more so.
Speaking of sound, if you're wondering about the quality of the mics on these when you're making calls, here's a sample for you.
This is how it sounds when you're making calls with these in a quiet environment. Ish, I've got 3 kids, so this doesn't happen often, but you get the idea. Given that we are out on, well, not massively windy day, but windy enough day, yeah, let me know in the comments below how they sound, man.
If you have any questions whatsoever, drop them below, but otherwise, I'll see you in the next one.